She managed to escape from the back of the house, and she's plunged her hands through the next door neighbour's window to try and get attention. She climbed over a fence, staggered off up the road, bare feet, bleeding from her hands and wrists, and collapsed on the floor of a nearby cafe. Hospital staff that dealt with her on that night said they've never seen anyone so frightened in their life.
Ramat was contacted, and Ramat had the presence of mind, whilst Banaz was lying on the hospital trolley, to ask Banaz to tell him exactly what had happened, and at the same time he was recording on his mobile what she had to say.
بردستان همو داد رابون و تاریک بو هر تلویزیون کاو کرابو نام سعودی دوباره شخش هاتو كالك رشي لبربون يرو بوك دسكشتي شين لا تكشو دا بروما داري ايش سيدانش خوزي او الشام دانش ما حتى اوتو يجورا كيدي هدي بارا زاد هذا هم لدرجاكي كرد أيد السف back garden اللي ليش بيو ببصير خليت ردو بيدا خلاص متخصصيات.
On the lines of, you know, if I run away, I'm dead. If I go home, I'm dead. You know, so that sense of absolute futility, which goes some way to explaining her decision to go home.
This is one of the last texts Banaz sent to Rahmat. The next morning, she disappeared. Her family claimed she'd brought them dishonor for loving a man they did not approve of.
Just for being in love. Sometimes I am thinking why love should be so hated.
She told the police her life was in danger.
Anytime, if anything happens to me, it's them.
But they didn't help her. Her family had already tried to kill her once. But she decided to return home. In January 2006, Banaz was reported missing by her boyfriend.
Not a single member of the Kurdish community helped us. We didn't get any positive contribution from the community, and there must have been dozens, if not hundreds, of people that knew what had happened to Banaz. I think we found out within a couple of days of the investigation that Banaz had an older sister called Bekal, who was estranged from the family. She wasn't living at the family home.
I had the police knocking on my door, asking if they could come in. And they said to me, it's about your sister. Your sister's gone missing. So when they said to me she's gone missing and my family don't know, I knew that wasn't true. I knew that was not true. Because I just knew in my heart that, you know, it's to do with the family members, the men. I knew it.
In early March, someone from the Kurdish community had found Bekal, and she had had a phone call to say that she was going to be the next person to be killed. The risk to her was obviously phenomenal. We knew that people had traced her telephone, people knew roughly what area that she was living in, and we actually, you know, moved her from house to house to house at one point, trying to keep her safe, to stop people finding her.
The police were now throwing all their resources at the case. But the clue to what had happened to Banaz was already in their hands, and it came from Banaz herself.
This is a letter that was delivered by Banaz to her local police station on or around the 12th of December 2005. In it, she has given details of people that she has heard were going to be responsible for killing her. Numbers 2, 3, 4 and 5 have said that they're ready and willing to do the job of killing me and my boyfriend, and this was said by my uncle Ari Mahmoud while my uncle was on the phone to my mum on the 2nd of December at around 6 to 7 that evening. He also said that he's going to kill me and my boyfriend Ramat, and it's signed Banaz Mahmoud. No, just childlike writing, speaking literally from beyond the grave. This is what's going to happen to me. And from that letter, we were able subsequently to identify some of the people that she was talking about, and the letter was accurate in every detail of what she said about these men as Omar Hussein, Muhammad Ali, Muhammad Hammer. And those three men are all cousins, so they are cousins of Banaz and they are cousins of each other.
Muhammad Hammer was arrested and was charged with her murder.
It was a race against time. Because we had charged Muhammad Hammer, there is only a certain amount of time that you can keep someone in custody. And we still hadn't found the body. We couldn't even prove that Banaz was dead, much less that Muhammad Hammer had been the one to kill her. So the race was really on to find Banaz's body. And the Mahmoud family was showing no interest in this investigation whatsoever. They weren't ringing us up and saying, have you found my daughter yet? Or just absolutely no interest. Even when we were dragging the lake opposite their house, you know, no one came out or, you know, just no interest whatsoever. It's just such an absolute outrage that this girl is missing and nobody cares about her.
She was a completely innocent victim, and I think those things hit home, and you always do things for the victim's family. There's one thing we always, you know, we always try and serve murders for the victim's family. With this one, we never tried to solve the murder for the victim's family. We tried to solve the murder for Banaz. Because, you know, that she didn't have anybody else. Her family had killed her.
Two Mohammeds followed a really strange pattern of behaviour in that their telephones were showing that they were coming back down to London, toing and froing between London and Birmingham.
Muhammad Hammer's car was a hire car. The GPS, or the equivalent in his car, meant that there was a record of every place it had been, and the police just sent up a helicopter to hover around the area where the cars had been parked.
We got some information about there being a freezer over their grave. And Caroline and I were sitting there when we got this information. She went, we've seen that freezer, haven't we? And I went, yeah. We're sitting there trying to rack our brains, and she suddenly went, that's on the video. Where's the video? So we looked at it, and sure enough, there's a freezer in this back garden that we see from the helicopter that I was up in. So that was it. We were like, that's got to be there. So Stuart and I got in the car and literally drove up there that night.
Once we were inside, we took with us a forensic archaeologist who looked at the ground outside in the rear garden and immediately saw that there had been a disturbance in the earth towards the back of the house.
Buried 6 feet down, her body hidden in a suitcase, the detectives found Banaz.
She was in a fetal position. She was curled up like in a fetal position, which is somehow, I don't know, that somehow for me makes it even worse, that fetal position representing a child, almost like a child in a womb being in that suitcase. And the whole tragedy about this case for me is about that child-parent relationship that's gone horribly, horribly wrong.
I had a knock on the door, and it was my family liaison officer. But she won't speak to me until I sit down and have a friend there with me, and just tears just floated out. I couldn't control myself. I wanted to just be out of my skin, just die. It was, you know, they said to me they'd found my sister buried in a suitcase, and water pipes had broken while they'd put her down there. So it was quite severe, the situation. It was quite horrible. It just shattered me into pieces. Not long after then, my family liaison officer, she brought me pictures of my sister, worst thing I'll ever go through probably in my life. Seeing my own sister turn into ashes like that, that is enough to turn someone mad.
Three men were charged with her murder, including her father and uncle. Two other suspects had gone on the run and fled to Iraq. In court, Banaz's sister testified against her family.
I have the maximum respect for Bekkal for having the courage to give evidence against her family, knowing that your family would have you killed for doing it.
Banaz's boyfriend Rahmat also gave evidence. He is still in hiding and was unable to appear in this program.
We know now that Banaz was murdered on the morning of the 24th of January, and from piecing together all of the evidence, the suspects met at Mohammed Hama's address and then made their way to Banaz's home.
Quite deliberately, her father and her mother left the family home, leaving Banaz on the premises with one of her sisters.
And that meant the coast was clear for the men to come in.
It was Banaz's habit to sleep on the living room floor. There wasn't a bedroom for her. There wasn't sufficient room in the house, so she would sleep on the living room floor. And those three men, Muhammad Ali, Mohammed Hama and Omar Hussein, came into the house, woken up to find three men bursting into your room and knowing at that point that you're going to be killed.
The police had secretly recorded Mohammed Hama. He was taped talking about what happened that morning.
He was boasting, blatantly boasting about what those men had done to Banaz that morning, and them laughing and slapping each other on the back, you know, being manly. They were slapping her, fucking her. I have fucked her anally. The bitch's soul was not getting discharged with anything. It took more than half an hour. Was upstairs as well. Was aware. I swear to God I didn't know she was there, fuck her. Ari the bastard lied to us. Ari said there was no one there. Well, I put my leg there on her back, Mohammed on her neck. He made the cord like a hook. I held her hand and said, put it around quickly, and when she heard that, she was terrified. He immediately put the cord around her neck. She was vomiting. Well, he put the wire around her neck and gave it to me. Then I was holding to the cord so tight and stamping on her neck as well. When I stamped on the back of her neck, her mouth and nose were on the floor, and that was in the suitcase. I was saying, let her soul be discharged. I was kicking her head. The soul would not discharge that easily. The wire around her neck, it went deep through the skin. Her soul was not getting discharged. Because he was able to tighten it further, he tightened it around her neck, and it didn't take more than 4 to 5 minutes. Her soul was discharged, and she didn't make a sound.
While making this film, I came face to face with Banaz's father and uncle at a police station.
Do you agree to speak?
No, I'm sorry.
You don't want to tell your side of the story?
I'm sorry.
Who killed Banaz? Will you not agree to give us your side of the story? Okay, come with me now. I'm doing a documentary about your case, and I'm wondering if you want to speak. Who killed Banaz? You're innocent, then who killed Banaz? No, I'm saying you did not.